Alright, hola, how y'all niggas doing today? You feel me? Me and this bitch, fear God on a young nigga. You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing. But we got a real interesting video. To be honest with you, I'm trying to react to it because it got a lot of fucking views. You know what I'm saying? Ride the wave, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But GTA Definitive Edition is a pathetic mess. I guess we're talking about an older GTA game and playing the fuck out of them. Let's get into it.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar. The first time I ever fell in love, it all led to disappointment, ladies and gentlemen. And since then, I've decided I've always kept my
Damn. No, on the real though, hey, everybody first time falling in love leads to disappointment. Shit.
Expectations low. Why do I start a video off like that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have learned in my life when it comes to anything, life, love, business, keeping your expectations low is the mentally sound thing to do. Because no matter how low your expectations can go, you have a very good chance that something good will happen and you'll be ecstatic. And then you'll also have a likely chance that your expectations can go lower. Ladies and gentlemen, Grand Theft Auto the Definitive Edition was basically something that I was waiting for, okay? A chance to relive my childhood playing Grand Theft Auto 3.
Hold up, let me take a quick second to show y'all a little something. Y'all probably don't give a fuck about a candle, but this bitch smells amazing, nigga. I got used to the camera, goddammit. Okay. That's how you know I'm a shitty ass content creator. You know what I'm saying? Ocean Breeze, you know. Hey, fuck with it, man. Fuck with it for sure.
Vice City, San Andreas. Do you understand? I can't even have that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest shit show in gaming history.
Damn!
Cyberpunk 2077 was the real cream de la creme. That was just an appetizer into how bad things can actually get. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a beautiful thread by a Twitter user known as @VinePotato, which basically amalgamates what is to be expected out of Grand Theft Auto the Definitive Edition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing over here is a girlfriend from the original San Andreas. This is Denise, okay? You find her towards the first act of the game. You can date her, you can take her to places, you can have a good time. This is Denise in the Definitive Edition. No, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't just jump in and mod The Sims 2. That's what it looks like, okay?
This guy's entertaining.
There's other beautiful screenshots. Like, for instance, this Grove Street gang member is having a good old time. If you look at that 9 that he has on the back of the
that is wow. They got the 7 on it. Wow.
Well, look a little closer because
they put that bitch on a KD jersey.
Very capacity 7. Yes, Grove Street Games really
put
an extra effort in
back there. Was it
God dang. Now, there are also other things. Fingernails, for instance, which is what every human being contains. Something that game developers should know in 2021. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you got good old Tommy Vercetti. It's not easy to really isolate how bad things can get. But a shot of him talking to Forelli in the beginning of the game will show you that, yes, ladies and gentlemen, they went the Adult Swim route of actually putting fingernails on characters. That is downright hilarious! And goddamn, Patrick Starr's walking down the road. Look at them fingernails. God, I would not even look at the fingernails as much as the fact that this dude represents Patrick Starr more than you could ever expect. If you thought that was bad, here's a bunch of Vagos gang members from the PlayStation 2 original version of San Andreas. You see they look mean and menacing? Well, down here you can see that they look like Mafia War clones. Yes, we've gotten to the point where Mafia Wars and Gangstar on the iOS and Android stores look better than San Andreas ever has. If you thought creepypastas were dead, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Candy Sucks from the Vice City PS2 original versus Candy Slenderman from the Trilogy Definitive Edition. At some point, I think character models went down the drain. Now, here we're going to look at gangster anatomy. Here is Ryder, my homies, alright, my boys. Ryder in the PS2 original looked relatively normal. Ryder in the Definitive Edition looks like he has 3 extra bones in the arms. Arm rickets were not their friends.
Yo, what the fuck did they do?
I had to load the game up myself because I didn't believe this. I thought this was Photoshop. This is in the game. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, Nintendo Switch, Amiga.
Wow.
It's all there, Ryder in his glory. At some point, the characters look like they might be on peyote, which might be an added benefit. I don't know. But this is straight from the PlayStation 4 version, or 5 version. I'm not able to tell. All I can tell right now is that is a nightmare fuel staring right into my boy Tommy Vercetti. Now I decided...
Why does he have so much lead, boy? This nigga is drinking G Fuel. Hey, my guy.
Take some screenshots myself on my own system. This is from the Switch version of Grand Theft Auto 3. This is our buddy Ray, the bent cop, working on the second island of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not Ray. This is, in fact, Scuffed Mr. Bean. Again, I might have to reiterate what went wrong with the character.
Is that supposed to be a Mexican?
Remember, before this game released, we only saw a minute of footage, so I think I can begin to understand why. And what's even better is this version of Asuka Kaisen from GTA 3. That's mostly what I've been playing. So you've got Claude Speed staring at this cross-eyed Yakuza gang leader.
That is so racist.
Again, she wasn't cross-eyed on the PlayStation 2. For some reason, they're increasing cross-eyed representation across the board over at Grove Street Games.
Let's try to make it look
What happened to the fucking character models, guys? Seriously, how could you... No one tested the game. I'm just going to say, no one tested the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to cover a few things. Now, as a whole, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition has a few things missing. Now, they only showed us like a minute of like gameplay trailer footage, mashed up. And at the moment, it looked relatively cool. I even said that I felt that I was wrong because, hey, they actually made the games look relatively modern with that original art style. But we didn't actually see any proper true gameplay, which, you know, Rockstar has recently been showing with 2 games, Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, the last 2 games they ever made so far. And when they showed gameplay, it pretty much set the tone for what we should expect. When they didn't show gameplay for the Definitive Trilogy, it kind of set me wondering. And I obviously, you know, I was right, okay? I was right at the end of the day. Now, I bought the game on the Nintendo Switch, so I don't really think that I have a right to talk about the performance of the game, because I bought it simply expecting that I could play it on my TV and I could carry it portably with me on the go. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And to be honest with you, I was expecting this game to run 60 frames across everything. PC, Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PS5, Series X and S. And you want to know why? Because these games are old. They're not computationally expensive at all. Sure, they might have a new coat of paint, some reflections, some screen space stuff, but at the end of the day, they are not games that should be locked down and stutter frame rate wise. The Switch, which stutters the worst, also is a system that runs Breath of the Wild, Dying Light, Alien Isolation, plenty of awesome games. And the fact that GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas lags on it is fucking unacceptable. I don't care. But beyond that, the game has stuttering issues, mostly on the Switch from my experience, and some from what I've seen on the PS5. And just across the board, which again, can probably be patched up. But honestly, that's just the beginning. First off, the music has been butchered and removed. There is no original soundtrack. Billie Jean, gone. And again, I'm not going to blame Rockstar entirely. I'm sure working with a lot of these estates and companies is probably harder, especially since they're a bigger company, and these people expect a gone. And again, I'm not going to blame Rockstar entirely. I'm sure working with a lot of these estates and companies is probably harder, especially since they're a bigger company, and these people expect a far bigger cut. But at the end of the day, if you're going to make a definitive edition, you really can't call it a definitive edition when key soundtrack pieces are absolutely eliminated. But beyond that, what's also really wild is the performance, and it goes beyond the stuttering, because on the Switch, not only does the game fucking stutter, but the traffic loads in worse than Cyberpunk 2077 1.0. Remember when we looked at that downgrading video of Cyberpunk, and I showed you how cars just spawned in out of nowhere because the memory management was going crazy? Well, if you're on the Switch, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, because cars will just materialize out of nowhere. It gets so bad, it impacts your gameplay. Imagine trying to do a chase while the Matrix is literally trying to render in front of you. It's not possible. The streets are dead. You drive a little bit, the cars just magically materialize. And this is something, sure, could it be patched out? But are you telling me that Grove Street Games didn't playtest this for 5 goddamn seconds and come to the same conclusion I did as soon as I booted the game up? Simply, you didn't test the game. I don't believe that they had any... If you had a quality assurance team, they were dead, okay? They died as soon as they started playing the game. Go and check their offices. The corpses are goddamn rotting already, okay? It's just not happening. But also, what's beyond the situation, sure, okay, stuttering, visual, frame rate issues, call it a day, okay? I'm sure that can all be patched up.
Yo, he flaming the fuck out of them, like...
Now, visually, the games do look better with some of their...
Imagine putting your time and effort into the game.
Nothing to write home about. GTA 3 looks nice, but atmospherically, the PS2 version still, I think, kind of leads the pack. Vice City, because of the bloom effects and all the stuff that they've added, at night looks especially good. The sunsets, the morning, the water. I think Vice City is the best looking out of every single one of these, okay? Objectively, in my opinion. Now, San Andreas, while yes, it looks kind of nice, while it looks kind of beautiful, they've completely opened up the draw distance. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a shot of San Andreas, okay? They are flying the Hydra just outside of Las Venturas. See, that's Las Venturas right there, okay? That's Los Santos. No, sorry, that's Los Santos and that's San Fierro. So 3 cities, but you can get a quick idea of how small San Andreas' map is. Now, this isn't new. The map was always this big. But they used to have fog in the original games. And this wasn't just to mask the technical limitations, but it was to make the map feel bigger than it actually was. When you see things like this, it fucking kills your immersion. I don't care. But the other aspect is they've gotten rid of that orange haze that the PlayStation 2 version of San Andreas was known and iconized for.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
honestly, if you're going to make a definitive edition, could you not have done your best to bring that back? I mean, that haze literally gave San Andreas its iconic art style. But they didn't go for that. They didn't do it. I mean, if they screwed up on the texture models that bad, you think they're going to care about all the atmospherics? Probably not. Again, it makes sense why they didn't show any gameplay footage for it. It makes total sense now, okay? Because if we could see what these games looked and performed like before we bought them for $60, I think the sales wouldn't have been this good. I think there'd be a lot more refunds out there, and I think honestly, in many cases, refunds should be handed out like candy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I was at Ricky Berwick's house just having a good time, teaching about Linux and emulation, which we'll get to later on, but over there, we were trying to, load up Rockstar Games Launcher, and for some reason it wasn't loading. But then I came to realize that, whoa, the service is down! Yeah, Rockstar Social Club was down, and in fact, they actually posted something, today. The Rockstar Games Launcher is now back online. However, Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, will remain unavailable to play or purchase as we work to remove some data files that were unintentionally included in the new versions of these games. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, and we hope to have the correct versions of the games up and running for everyone as soon as possible. Hold on, buckos. What files got removed? Well, I can't exactly confirm this, but ladies and gentlemen, some geniuses have been digging into the code, and they found that apparently the hot coffee mod, yes, the sex mod that got Rockstar Games' GTA San Andreas an adult-only rating for a while, was suddenly kept in. Here's a piece of the code. State 6, proper 6. Switch, I substate status, K0. If not, get fading status. Switch widescreen off. Clear character tasks immediately. Girlfriend sex, get coordinates, shag. Bro, they kept the code. How did that happen? Okay? You removed the code from the game. You rebuilt the games using Unreal Engine. Sure, you might have thrown the textures into some craptastic Waifu 2 AI. Did some engineer literally sit down and recode the function that got Rockstar Games into a bunch of hot water? How did that even happen? Who sat down and
it's clearly somebody new.
Coffee mod, okay?
It's clearly somebody.
Nobody Control F their way to make sure this didn't happen. They're trolling them.
They did that on purpose. Yeah, that's wild.
That's all it is.
How do you do that?
Got removed. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar Games is the same company that was Take-Two, their parent company, was the same organization that was just throwing out lawsuits and DMCA takedowns of popular mods that happen to use the assets from GTA. And I have no issue with Rockstar, protecting their trademark. I get it. It's what you have to do. But what's funny to me is some of the models and some of the actual stuff that you've seen has been done better by Jim Bob sitting in their house modding the game together. Yes, this is a situation where modders have done all that they could to make the game better than it actually could have been. Whether it be texture updates, model updates, map updates, whatever. What we basically got in the Definitive Edition was a buggy game that basically, if you look at the history of Grove Street games, this is effectively the mobile iPhone, Android version of the game reported to the PC and other consoles. And this is where you start to see those performance issues. The issues from those mobile versions carry over. So basically, the Definitive Edition is that version with a slightly nice-looking coat of paint on top of it, missing soundtracks, and a litany of issues that, frankly, make it visually inferior to the older games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all right, where I'm going to really leave this off is, frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not okay with the fact that these modders got taken down. And the fact that we got this in return for all those takedowns is simply unacceptable. But the other big reality of the situation is what happened to the older versions of the games. See, if you bought them on Steam or any service before, you should still have them. But Rockstar has basically taken away the original versions of the games, which could still be downloaded, which could still be modded, and made better than the crap fest that we have received. Honestly, I can't promote piracy, simply because it's not allowed on YouTube, and I can't morally, okay it. Honestly, Rockstar, you should give people the ability to buy the older versions of the games, okay? The better versions, the versions that can be made better. I don't even think you can properly mod these versions of the games to make them better. But the other reality of the situation is, honestly, after all I've played here, it's probably better for you to go find yourself the PS2 versions of the game at a thrift store, on Amazon for like a few bucks, back it up to your computer, and play it through PCSX2 at 4K. Because at least those versions of the game visually stand tall amongst this crapfest, and they have the original soundtrack, and that's really all I can say. Honestly, playing this version made me just re-emulate the older ones. So yeah, did I expect Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition to be this bad? I honestly didn't expect it to blow my mind. I expected a bargain bin remastering. But from what we got, it's just a goddamn travesty. So yeah, if I feel too negative about this...
Woo! GTA, y'all fucked up with him, man. Hey, that's the end of the video, man. Thank you for watching. If you're new to it, subscribe, like, share the fucking video. You know what I'm saying? Get as many people to watch this as possible. If you do, I appreciate you, man. Seriously. Y'all stay good. Ooh la la.